Positioning of the sun, everybody. The name is Bofang, and welcome back to a ranking video with a Pop-Tart. Are you strawberry flavored?
Yeah, you asked me that a couple episodes ago. Yes, I am. I am still strawberry flavored.
Nice. I didn't know if you turn into a dreaded s'more.
Boy, no. Hi everyone. It's my Pop Tart again. Back
Uh,
at it with another anime countdown. Let's go.
this time we're doing the top 5 fights in the original Naruto anime. We're not doing any Shippuden because, quite frankly, I'm not far enough in and don't want any spoilers.
Yeah, and frankly, I do kind of want to wait for him to get that far so we can watch them with no expectation.
Yeah. But with all that being said and done, top 5 of the original Naruto fights, and if you're wondering why we're a little less enthused than normal, this is take 2. The number 1 entry got corrupted, so yeah.
Woo! All right, let's do this.
At number 5, this is the fight that got me into Naruto and kept me watching, so it deserves a spot in this list all on its own. We have Team 7 versus Zabusa and Haku.
So we've decided to conglomerate both fights of this arc, being Sasuke and Naruto versus Haku. Well, not both fights, all three. Kakashi versus Zabuza, and then
Naruto.
Naruto Sasuke Sakura versus Zabuza.
And then Naruto and Sasuke versus Haku and Kakashi versus Zabusa round 2.
Yeah.
I like a lot of things about this fight. Again, this is the fight that got me to continue giving Naruto a chance after I thought it was pretty damn boring.
That, and it's the first time we got to see a true fight. Before then they were just a bunch of gags and then like a scuffle between Naruto and Sasuke. This is the first time we got to see a real fight, and it started with a bang. We got the Nine Tails chakra right off the bat, and we got to see Kakashi letting loose a little bit.
We also got to see powerful characters like Kakashi and Sasuke get humbled for the first time. Although in Kakashi's case, he wasn't as infuriating because he was humble about his strength. He was just proving because he was a mentor. But Sasuke definitely needed the humbling.
Exactly, and the thing with um, Kakashi's humbling was that the fact that he's up against a really strong opponent with three Genin on his team, when usually he would have a couple Jonin or a few
Shonin.
yeah, yeah.
Like normally he'd have someone like Iruka or Guy, but he don't have that. He has 3 people he's currently teaching. It really feels like his weakness is nothing he could have planned out for, and it feels absolutely like valid on Kakashi's part to be like, "Bro, I'm underprepared."
That, and then you've got Sasuke's humbling by the hands of Haku. That mirror fight was really brutal to start off like this series, and seeing Naruto finally use his Nine Tails chakra, setting up for later in the series, and the ending of that fight is maybe the best on this list. Now, others others coming up will have like some space to argue, but the pure emotion of Zabuza and Haku dying is it's pretty rough.
Getting betrayed by his boss, even holding his sword, pulling his Zoro and holding his huge ass sword in his mouth just to try and get a last final middle finger in. Like,
Right.
yeah. But moving on from that, we're going on to number 4, the start of the best arc in the original anime. Absolutely no one is fighting me because it's basically a universal truth, and that is the Chunin exams. And the first fight in that arc is Shikamaru versus Tamari.
Well, it's not the first. Technically, Naruto versus Neji is, but I will say that this is the first strategic fight of the Chunin exams.
I more meant like the first fight in that arc on this list. That's what I
Uh,
more meant.
oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, anyway, Like I said before, this fight is very it's rooted in strategy, which was rare for shonen in general at this point, let alone Naruto. And it was really unique at the time and still is. It's a fun watch, especially knowing the future of these two.
I'm not going to lie to you. When I watched this fight, it reminded me a lot of Light and L's dynamic in Death Note. It was mostly because inner monologues in that show is just, he moved his pinky to the left and twitching. That means he's lying. I was clearly calling out by lying without giving away my lying signal. So, anyways, I like Burger King. Wait a minute, he's lying. Nobody likes
Wait a
Burger
minute.
King.
All right. Death Note aside, yeah, this is just a fun fight to watch, and it cemented Shikamaru as the smartest character that isn't an adult at this point.
The smartest of the
And
Genin at that point.
yeah, and it established Tamari as a possible threat given the fact that she outlasted Shikamaru. Granted, would he have won even if would he have won if he hadn't given up? Absolutely. But that's kind of the point of Shikamaru's character. He's not going to tire himself out on purpose.
Like, the thing is, too, Tamari wasn't really proven a threat because she just fought Fodder and this world's equivalent of Yamcha, being
Yeah,
Tien.
no, Ten
I mean,
Ten.
Ten,
Yeah,
not
Ten Ten
Tien.
was not a. Tien's the wrong anime, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, Ten Ten. Ten Ten was not as like a struggle for Tamari, so
Ten's not a struggle for anyone in general.
that's true.
How,
But yeah,
how did
very good.
Guy's team go in with the strongest and weakest Genin to the tuning exams? I will never know.
I don't know either.
But yeah, in short, this is the battle that started a relationship. It got Shikamaru the tuning rank, and he was the only one who passed. I do have a bit of a rant saying that Shikamaru shouldn't have been the only one to pass, but that's neither here nor there. That's for a different day. But yeah, it's just a solid all around fight. What can you say? It earned a spot.
Yeah.
Coming up next, number 3, one of the most potent battles of ideals, we have Naruto versus Neji.
To start off with, Naruto versus Neji was like Naruto versus Neji was really interesting, given it had the most build up to this point in the show.
Like, we saw Neji's
Naruto,
fight with
yeah,
Hinata. We saw why Lee wanted to try so hard, and it was to prove Neji's ideals wrong. And Naruto is going into this for Lee and Hinata. He has some
yeah, the
reasons to win this
vow,
fight.
yeah, the blood vow. But then, now I said Shikamaru versus Tamari was unique in the way that strategy was the major standpoint. Um, Neji does have a lot of strategy, but he's going up against Naruto, whose main strategy is Shadow Clone. So,
Main strategy is
yeah,
Shadow Clone, and I'm gonna hit you really hard.
yeah. But credit to Neji, he put Naruto on the ropes fairly quickly and fairly easily.
Yeah. I I will admit, although I do like Naruto intentionally pulling out the Nine Tails chakra, nine tails chakra. I don't know why that was so hard to say. I do like him intentionally pulling out that power, and this win does feel like the first time that Naruto pulled out a skill-based victory. But even then, it was still a lot of luck went into his win.
That's not to say the finishing move was sort of unsatisfying. Dude
Oh
touched
yeah,
like
no, his chin
dude,
touched his forehead. His brain
you
went
know,
kersmudgeoned. It rolled a
man,
d20 and got a nat 1.
dude got concussed so bad.
But again,
Nice tattoo. Yeah, nice tattoo on your forehead. Your chin should see that. Hey,
but again, Neji's pulling out all the 90s anime toys. He's got the Beyblade spin, he's got the Bakugans ready in the loadout with 8 trigrams and 64 palms.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, this
noticed. I just noticed in our Naruto, in one of the images, Neji has a gun.
Wait, what?
In one of the
Oh
images,
Lord, yes he does. Yes he does.
just noticed that now.
I didn't notice that either.
That makes it even better.
That is fantastic. Oh, yeah, anyway, this is a really good fight, though the top two were kind of obvious from the very beginning. This one did still put up a fair challenge.
The top two were always going to be the top two. The question is whether we were going to order it in the way it should have been ordered by story or choreography. And number two was so close to being number one, but it was held back by too many flashbacks. And as anybody who's ever seen that, especially when it was airing, knows that the only fight we could be talking about is Naruto versus Sasuke.
I agree with Blue Fang here. It is the most narratively satisfying fight of the series, and obviously the most important of the series. Granted, there were some flaws in execution, aka the flashbacks. And man, we did not need the first half of the entire battle to just be episodes of flashbacks.
Especially when the
I,
flashbacks
yeah,
repeat the same flashbacks so many times. You give us one episode of flashbacks, or you spread the flashbacks in between the fights, and so it's like a 3/4 ratio, and so we can get the fight. I get it, they're important to Sasuke's backstory, but we did not need that many.
now to go on to the positives. First off, we have probably the fight where Sasuke is the most serious, and it's against Naruto. It's finally his time to realize that Naruto's some not just some knucklehead anymore. He's he's got a good shot at beating you.
I'm not just a
So
Knucklehead Ninja, I'm the Knucklehead Ninja.
he, yeah, very good. Um, but yeah, it was really interesting to see Sasuke try. He was kind of outclassed to begin with, but as soon as he unlocked his like the third mark of his
Curse?
Sharingan,
Oh.
like the third mark of his Sharingan, things really started taking off.
It was nice seeing, like, again, these two are fighting each other as equals. Sasuke's taking Naruto for the first time seriously, and Naruto is pulling everything in his power to break this man and bring him back.
Yeah, and one of the now we said flashbacks were a flaw, but one of the better ones that they used was the water tower scene.
Okay, yeah, that
Naruto, yeah,
the water tower scene is super important before this fight because it kind of just established that at base, Naruto is stronger than Sasuke now at base.
in physical strength, yes, physical strength, Naruto is stronger. It's just a shame that Sasuke had the advantage in every other category. That's why he ended up winning.
Although, again, Naruto's no slouch. He made him fucking work for that win.
That's true, but it's it really does finally allow the story to kind of pay off this buildup.
Yeah.
It was,
The
yeah,
The payoff was built up nicely. For early 2000s, it had some really, well, not early, but for the 2000s, that was some fluid animation for their fight.
especially the clones versus Sasuke
The
fight
clone whip, as
specifically
I'm
with
going to
like,
call it.
yes, that giant bang right into the wall.
There are moments that both of these characters could have died. Naruto did die and got a lucky pro tag transformation.
Yeah, that suplex was something else.
I have a feeling that there were moments that they both could have died, but they still just kept going because the plot demanded. And that final Chidori versus Rasengan.
It's iconic. You can't not recognize it.
I'm just gonna call it Kakashi's biggest regret because at this
Yeah.
point forward, Kakashi knew he screwed up teaching Sasuke the Chidori.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that, my boy.
He made things so much harder.
All
But
right.
we've said our piece on the best fight from story wise. And now it's time to move on to the number one fight, a fight that isn't held back by flashbacks. Rock Lee versus Gara.
I Now this may be take two, but I'm still so excited to talk about this fight. Again, it is my favorite anime fight of all time, and it's from my favorite fictional character of all time. Seeing Lee in the 7 episode stretch of pure adrenaline, showing off his skills, his speed, everything was so satisfying. And it's one of the very few fights that has made me emotionally invested and made me stand up and cheer.
This is a fight. If you are not a Lee fan and didn't like Lee before this fight, you will either do what Mypoptart did and become a Lee fan where he is your favorite character, or you will do what I did where even though he's not your favorite, Jiraiya is my personal favorite, he still got up there. You gained a lot of respect for this man.
Especially because he's fighting what was to that point the most threatening character in the series that wasn't Orochimaru.
Yeah, Gara was a threat. Had auto defenses, had literal rocks working for him, had and basically an Iron Man shell going on. And Lee just went ahead and said, I am the Flash. It does not matter. I am better than you.
That weight drop from from the start of the weight drop to the very end, it does not it doesn't have a flaw to me, this fight. Now, is that hyperbole? Maybe. But man, is this fight so much fun to watch.
Listen,
Seeing Lee finally assert himself.
listen. Everyone knew Lee was locked the fuck in when he made Gara bow.
Yep.
That
Mm-hmm.
kick was still the cleanest kick in all of anime. This might not be my favorite fight in all of anime, but that kick was clean.
Yeah. Um I I also have to say that despite all the cool transformations like One Tail Naruto, First Mark Sasuke, or heck, even Jinchuriki Gara,
Yeah,
the eight gates, yeah, the eight gates Lee transformation is the best in the series, bar none.
side note, this is actually a story that I can put in now since it is the second take. I was showing someone else Naruto, and at the ending scene, when they thought there was a creaking of the gates, like, oh, Lee was going to somehow open the sixth gate and put in the fight because they wanted Lee to win, and they were crying when they found out it was his bones and they were breaking, and he lost.
Yeah,
Although, granted,
you know,
according to the rules and what the refs say, Lee would have won the fight had Guy not stepped in.
it is a shame, but like, do you really blame Guy for stepping in? He just saw his star pupil get two limbs crushed,
His left
and he's
side is
standing up.
useless.
Yeah, and he's standing up unconscious. I don't blame Guy for what he did.
No one does. And even if Lee did win, all that would mean is that Gara doesn't get to go to the next round, and they go in with an initial 8 instead of an initial 9 and a back out. So I guess it would
Yeah,
go 7
Lee,
opponents.
Lee wouldn't have been able to continue. It's that simple. So either way, it's a sad ending for Lee, but my god, did he make up for it for with one of the best fights ever.
I'm gonna say it, had this not been a prelim fight, I think Lee could have easily made Chunin. And even
Yeah,
if
honestly, yeah.
even then, he would have absolutely made it to the actual third round if it was anyone else.
Seriously, he would have beaten Sasuke. He would have beaten Naruto. He would have beaten, like, I don't know, Shino. He would
No
have beaten
one was a
all of
challenge
them
for this man.
except for Gaara. It was such a shame.
Such a shame.
I know. Man, I love this fight.
He might call it the premier fight of the 2000s, and I'd say it's a close contender, maybe number 2. It is definitely the premier fight if you want to get people into Naruto, and it's earned its spot to number 1. But with all
Yeah.
that being said and done, unless he has anything more to add, I'm willing to call it.
No, I'm good. This was good.
Alright, so I'm going to bid you all a good West positioning on the sun, everybody, and like and subscribe or Neji will shoot you with a gun.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
Goodbye.